This video goes over the key for our angles review. Question 1 asks us to identify two pairs of angles that are congruent, and there are a couple of them that we could choose from. So we can think about angles that are across from each other, for example 2 and 3, those are always congruent. So we could list angle 2 and angle 3. You can also think about if I were to pick up this 1, 2, 3, 4 and drag it down, then those corresponding angles are also congruent. So I could also list something such as angle 1 and 5. So check your answer and see if it falls into either of those categories, either opposite or corresponding. Then it asks us to list two pairs of angles that are supplementary. Supplementary means that they're going to make a straight line or add up to 180 degrees. Those are going to be our next door neighbor angles. So for example, we could use 1 and 2. Those two angles together form a straight line. Again, we can think about dragging this top part to the bottom, and we could say that angle 1 and angle 6 are supplementary because angle 2 and angle 6 are congruent. So there are a lot of different possibilities for this first answer. For question 2, we're writing an equation that would be used to find the measure of angle 1. So to solve this, we need to know the relationship between these two angles. And we know, because they're next door neighbor angles, that these two angles together are going to add to 180. They are supplementary. We also know angle 2's measurement, so we can substitute that with 49. We don't know angle 1, so we can make that our x, and we know that we want it to equal 180. This would be an equation we could use as our solving step for question 2. For question 3, we are solving our equation that we wrote in problem 2. So we had x plus 49 equals 180. To solve, we're going to subtract 49 from both sides. And when we do that, we get x equals 131 degrees. So angle 1 measures out 131 degrees. Similar to question 2, we're writing an equation that would be used to find both angle measures, but we need to think about the relationship first. So in this situation, angle 1 and angle 2 are congruent, meaning they are equal to one another. We know angle 1's measure is 79, and we don't know angle 2, so we would put x. Now we're going to solve that equation, which is really easy because it's already solved for us. We have x equals 79, so we know that angle 2 measures 79 degrees. Another problem where we're writing an equation to find the measures of these two angles. So in this example, angles 1 and 2 are congruent once again, meaning they have the same measure. We know angle 1 is 79. We don't know angle 2's measure, so we can put that as x. Then we're asked to solve. So since we know angle 1, we can go ahead and fill that in as 79 degrees. And this is another easy one to solve because it tells us right away that x equals 79 degrees, so that's the measure of angle 2 as well. This problem is asking us to identify all of our angle measures in these similar triangles. Using this piece right here of if measure of angle A is 27 degrees, that piece we need to know. So we can go ahead and fill that in up here, and we can also fill that in our sketch of these two triangles. So let's first find measure of angle Y. So if we think about these being similar triangles, then angle Y is in the same location as angle B, and both of these have this little symbol right here, which we know means that it's a right angle, and we know that all right angles are 90 degrees. Then we need to look for the measure of angle Z, which is right here, and angle Z is in the same location as angle C. So we can solve for angle C first, and then just use that value for angle Z. So over here we have angle A plus angle B plus angle C all need to equal to 180 degrees because they form a triangle. We know the measure of angle A is 27 degrees, the measure of angle B is 90 degrees, and we don't know this one, so we can replace it with x. Then I'm going to add these values to get 117 plus x equals 180. And then I subtract 117, and when I do that, I get x equals 63. So that's the measure of angle C, so we can again identify that here. And because angle C and Z are in the same location, we know that angle Z is also 63 degrees. Finally, it says if the measure of angle A is 27 degrees, then the measure of angle W equals what? And we've talked about this already. We said B and Y are the same, C and Z are the same, which means A and W are also going to be the same measure, so it's 27 degrees. For this problem, they tell us that angle B measures 32 degrees, and it's asking which angle in our similar triangle has the same measure. So remember, we think about similar triangles as kind of pulling from one point and expanding it like we can do on a computer or on Notability. So we're looking for the angle that's in the same location as angle B, which in our case is B prime. So we can put B prime equals 32 degrees. For this problem, they tell us that angle L equals 88 degrees, and that's right here. And it's asking what's the measure of angle C. And we notice these little tick marks on our angles, and angle L has 3, 1, 2, 3, and angle C also has 3, which lets us know those are our corresponding angles. So angle C is 88 degrees. These problems seem to be the trickiest, so let's go through this. We have two triangles here. We have triangle ADE, which is our small one, ADE, and we have our big triangle that also uses angle A, and these two are going to be similar. That's triangle ABC. We're told angle A is 100 degrees, that angle B is going to be 40, and we're looking for the measure of angle E. Now, because these are similar triangles, we know that B and D are corresponding, they're in the same location, so we know angle D is also 40 degrees. So now we have two of our angle measures, and we can do 100 plus 40 plus x, our unknown measure, has to equal 180. Well, that's going to give me 140 plus x equals 180. I subtract 140 from both sides, and I get x equals 40 degrees for the measure of angle E. Again, we have two similar triangles here with some angle information. So we know angle D is 13 degrees, we know G is 91, and we're looking for the measure of angle A. We don't know this one. Now again, we have these little angle markers, so that lets me know that angle D and C are congruent. So this is also 13 degrees. B and G both have two angle lines here, which means angle B is 91 degrees. And then that gives us two of our three angle measures, so we're now able to solve A. So I create an equation of 91 plus 13 plus our unknown value for A equals 180. I add these two and I get 104 plus x equals 180. We can subtract that from both sides. And when I do that, I get x equals 76 degrees. So that means that measure of angle A is 76 degrees.